Greetings, students at the Center for Advanced Ministry Training at Harding University. Christianity is full of paradoxes, and you're in the middle of one right now. You probably never realized that life could be so horrible, yet so awesome all at the same time. I have fond memories of my time at CAMT. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the Romans approach. My dad asked me to make a little introductory video for you, and so that's what this is. He's going to be teaching you about a lesson that is really close to my heart and that has really shaped my ministry over the years. And I found it very, very useful. I became a Christian in 2004 and entered into ministry training shortly thereafter. And before I moved to Tampa, Florida, which, by the way, my ministry training started actually in a church before I came to Harding. Before I moved to work with that church in Tampa, Florida, my dad sat me down and walked me through this Roman study, and he had this piece of paper that he handed to me that looked like it had been typed up on an old typewriter from like the 70s or something. And he said, "What I'm about to give you is the most powerful thing in the universe." And I kind of looked at him like, what are you talking about? And he said, "No, really, what I'm going to give you is the most powerful thing in the universe. There is nothing more powerful than this. It's the gospel of Jesus Christ, and it's the truth surrounding Jesus Christ and what the sacrifice of Jesus Christ means for people." And he walked me through this study, and I left with it, the handout he'd given me folded in my Bible. Okay. I arrived in Tampa, Florida, and within the first couple of weeks of my getting there, we were having a Bible study. I was working with the campus ministry. We were having this group Bible study, and there was this guy that came named Brent Kochman, and he was brand new to the group. He was visiting from out of town. He was thinking about moving to Tampa to live there with his uncle. And during that group Bible study, he kind of relayed these feelings of being distant from God and how he was so happy to be with a group like ours, and that he was really interested in learning more about Christianity, and just kind of relayed that he had been living sinfully and that he wanted to change all that he was just kind of a partier and really involved in what a lot of college kids are involved in today. But he wanted to change his lifestyle and basically give his life to Jesus. And so right after our group study was over, I went up to him and talked to him, and I told him that I had just recently kind of made the change that he was talking about making, and that I could share with him something somebody shared with me one time. And I said, would you like to go study the Bible with me? I've got this Bible study I can use with you. And he said, sure. And I remember as we got up from the living room and we walked back to one of the back bedrooms, a guy named Josh Wilson, another guy from the group, came back there with us. And I remember just being so nervous going and sitting with this guy for the first time. I was going to have a Bible study with someone, and I was just as scared as ever. And I remember my hand kind of shaking as I opened up my Bible and pulled this piece of paper out and unfolded it, that piece of paper that my dad had given me in Cersei with this Roman study on it. And I was a professional speaker for several years before I became a Christian. I worked in the radio industry for a long time. I know what a good presentation sounds like and had been trained to make good presentations using my voice and using speech. And the presentation that I made with Brent that night, going through that Bible study, I can tell you it was absolutely horrible. I sounded canned. It sounded rehearsed. You could tell that I was reading in certain sections. I didn't have a clue which way was up. But when we got to the end of that study, we went all the way through that handout, got down to the end, Brent looked at me and he said, "Wes, I want to get baptized tonight. I want to give my life to Jesus tonight." And we left right there and went to the church building. And the first time that I studied the Bible with someone, absolutely horrible experience. I probably said things I shouldn't have said, and probably said things in a way that was just wrong a couple of times. Thought it went horrible, but at the end the guy ended up becoming a Christian. Since then, I've had the opportunity to study with a lot of other people, and that Romans approach that you guys are going to learn is something that I still use today. Let me tell you why the Romans approach is useful. According to the Barna Group, a group that does research on spiritual topics, Most people in our country today believe that heaven is something you have to earn. Believe that God's love is something you have to earn. They believe that you can only be a Christian if you're good enough. And when you stand before God on Judgment Day and He asks you, why should I let you into my kingdom? Why should I let you into heaven? You're going to have to give this list of all the good things you've done. And if your list isn't long enough, then you're not going to make it in. The Roman study abolishes that idea. The Roman study is Jesus-centered. The Roman study teaches that faith in Jesus is what allows us into heaven. That is a biblical message. You cannot earn your salvation. It is a free gift from God. God sent Jesus to earth when you were God's enemies, when you were sinners, when you were rebellious, when you were spitting in the face of Him. He loves you so much that He sent His Son to die for you and to cleanse you from your sin. And Jesus came to earth to give you a chance that if you will follow Him, you will be saved. But it is not because of your actions or your good performance. It is ultimately because of Jesus. And it is only through Jesus that you are saved. That's a very comforting message when you consider the fact that Christianity is not about rules and regulations as so many people believe. It is about relationship with God and relationship with Jesus. Something that the world needs to hear. It is a message of love and God's love for us and what our response to God should be because of His love for us and the example that Jesus is for us in just how much He loves us. It is a very good study. I still use it. I highly recommend it. And I am so glad that you guys are going to leave with a tool in your arsenal to battle Satan in your ministries and to lead people to Jesus and to baptize people and to see churches grow in the way they were meant to. God bless you in your ministries. Work hard in school. Love the people around you. Be nice to your professors. With